Hey everyone, welcome to Up All Night DIY. I'm Monica. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm making this cool Give Thanks Acorn door decor. I know the Dollar Tree had these acorn wood plaques, but mine didn't, so I cut mine with my scroll saw from MDF, and while I was at it, I cut the rectangle too. I'll be using all Plaid Ceramcoat acrylic paints for this project today. And I'll start by base coating both the acorn and the plaque with golden brown. And I'll give them 2 coats. With both pieces base coated and dry, I'll work on the acorn first. I'll draw a curved line to divide the top from the body, just using a regular old pencil. I've cut varying sized vinyl strips using my silhouette, which I'll use to block off some stripes on the acorn's top. You can of course use painter's tape for this too. There's no real rhyme or reason, just wherever I think I'd like a stripe. I'm not going to worry about them going past the acorn top because you'll see that won't matter. I'm adding some Mod Podge with a cosmetic sponge along the sides of my strips to keep the lines crisp. Now that the Mod Podge is dry, I'll paint the top with charcoal. I'll follow that curved line that I drew on, and I'll also paint the edges. This will all get 2 coats. With my silhouette, I've cut the word give to use as a reverse stencil. I just used random vinyl shelf liner for this, and I'll apply this to my little plaque. And I'll add Mod Podge to this too. Then I paint over the entire plaque with charcoal. I remove all the vinyl. This font, by the way, is called Type Keys. Ooh, I'm loving those stripes. I'll add this thanks to the acorn body. I used Oracle permanent vinyl and matte black for this, and I used the Brilliant font. I love this font. I'm going to add some dots using dowels. Why not? I'll start with charcoal and my largest dowel. Then with a smaller dowel, I'll add a burnt sienna dot, a slightly smaller dowel for the hippo gray, And I'll add more smaller dots on the other side below the word thanks. When they're good and dry, I'll add dots to my dots. Golden brown dots on my charcoal dots. Hippo gray to the burnt sienna dots. And charcoal to the hippo dots. Using float medium, I'll shade my acorn with charcoal. I dip my brush into the medium and work it into the bristles. Then, I scoop some charcoal onto one corner of my brush and stroke it on my plate to load the bristles with the paint, giving me a gradient of color. I start by shading the curve on the top part of the acorn, and I'll flip my brush over and I'll also shade the other side of the curve, and I'll reload my brush as needed. Then I shade the edges of the acorn. I switch to a smaller brush to shade the stripes, and I'll shade both sides of the stripes. I'll dry brush the give plaque with golden brown, mostly focusing on the corners and the edges. I drill a hole, top and bottom center of my plaque, and through the stem of the acorn. For the hanger, I've cut a length of 19 gauge wire, which I'll wrap around this bottle. I'll cross it so that the wire is right up against the bottle, and I'll twist it all the way down, leaving about an inch at the end open. I'll pop that bottle out and I'll push the wire through the top of the give plaque, and with needle nose pliers, I'll twist the wire around itself. I've also cut a 3-inch piece of wire that I'll attach the acorn to the plaque with. Just push it through and bend it over. Easy peasy. As always, I'll spray it with a clear matte sealer. As a final touch, I have this really cute ribbon that's just perfect for this, so I'll make a bow using a chenille stem. To make the first loop, I'll fold about 6 inches behind the ribbon and I'll pinch it, making a 3-inch loop. I twist the tail so that the pattern faces forward. I make the second loop, again about 3 inches, pinch and twist, and I'll cut my ribbon. I folded the chenille stem in half and I'll twist it around the center. I'll cut a bit of this twine and wrap it around the middle of the bow a few times to hide the chenille stem. I do tie it in the back after each loop around the middle. And I cut off the excess twine. Then I dovetail the ends and I hit it with a lighter to stop the ribbon from fraying, and then I'll set that bow aside. To make the larger bow, I repeat the process, but I'll make the loops bigger, about 4 inches. This bow will have 4 loops, so I make the first 2 the same as the little bow. Only this time, instead of cutting the ribbon, I'll make 2 more loops, then cut, leaving several inches for the tail. Pinching and twisting. For that last loop, I only had to pinch. I didn't have to twist because the pattern was already facing forward. So I add the small bow to the top and twist the chenille stem around the larger bow. And then I'll fluff my loops, and then I dovetail the tails. And finally, I'll twist my bow to my wire hanger and I'll cut off the excess chenille stem. I love it. Super fast, super easy, and super cute. I hope you like it too. All supplies will be in the description box. Next week, I'm participating in the Crafting for a Cause challenge hosted by Teresa B DIY, which will upload at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, so please stop by and check that out. You can also check out my discussion tab for updates and channel news. If you are so inclined, please like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. It really does help my channel out. It would be much appreciated. Next week's project will also be a Thanksgiving project before we move on to Christmas. Stay creative, my friends. Thanks for hanging with me. See you next time. Up all night with Monica.